What's up, movie nerds? It's your girl, Cece, and let's get candid about a Minecraft movie. This was a fun movie. Not a very mentally stimulating movie, but a fun movie once you got into it. Gotta be honest, a couple of times I felt myself cringing through scenes, especially this one scene dubbed The Man Witch, which we will talk about later. And if I had a nickel for every single time Jack Black sang in this movie, I'd have 5 freaking nickels. I'm not even gonna do the Phineas and Ferb joke.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
We get it. He can sing. And I understand that his character is supposed to be a little in this movie, but he doesn't need to sing in every movie. And also, I'm pressed because nobody has said a thing about that. I mean, everybody was up in arms when the Willy Wonka movie came out, the Wonka movie of 2023, I think. And everybody was upset because they didn't explicitly say that it was a musical when every other Willy Wonka movie has been a musical. But everyone's okay with Jack Black just singing random songs throughout this movie that are long enough to be considered songs in a Minecraft movie. It's not a musical.
This can't be happening, don't tell me it's a song.
That's a whole bunch of double standards, if I do say so myself. Look, I'm not mad at the movie. The movie was good for what it was. But if y'all are gonna get upset about a movie that was most definitely going to be a musical and not a video game movie with, let's be honest, cringy songs in it, I don't know what to tell y'all, but that's some bullcrap. Also, this is definitely a kids movie, and I'm gonna look at it through the lens of a kids movie. I'll give 2 overalls. One for the movie itself, and one for the fact that it's for kids. And that's just how it'll be. So like, we all knew that this movie wasn't gonna be profound or Oscar-worthy for this day and age, right?
What do you want, a cookie?
But it is PG. So like, it's not a G-rated movie, it's not strictly for kids. And when I was a kid, we got amazing works of art, like The Iron Giant or The Incredibles. So, I mean, you don't have to go completely brain dead and slapstick just to make kids like it, you know what I mean? Kids can critically think too. I think we need to start making things again, thinking that the kids are smarter than they are instead of thinking that the kids are dumber than they are. Have more faith in the children of today, or else we are gonna like make them dumber than what they are, because they just expect everything to be spoon-fed to them. Let's not treat them dumb anymore, you know? Or maybe this movie to kids is like Godzilla vs. Kong is for us, or something else like that, you know? Stupid, but fun. But that's just my initial review of the movie. Keep on watching to see the full review and whether or not you want to give this movie a shot. Also, there will be spoilers and the reasons for the rating.
You have been warned.
And let's get this party started.
I mean, really, let's do this, mother.
First up is acting, which I give a 5 out of 10. A lot of acting was kinda cringy. Not gonna lie, it just was. Sometimes you were sitting there being like, oh wow. It was kinda funny, but it was also just like, yeah, this is definitely a kids movie of today. But like, maybe it was supposed to be a little cringy only because some of the characters were cuckoo, like maybe?
It's cuckoo, but family.
I mean, seriously, Jack Black was like a caricature of himself throughout this movie. They hired Jack Black and then said, be the most Jack Black that you can be. Like, be the stereotype Jack Black. Plus, some of the lines were just given, like we were in Dora the Explorer, but without the fourth wall break. But it is a kid's movie, so I understand the over-the-top nature, but it's not wholly necessary. We had movies back in my day.
I'm like the Crypt Keeper.
Where they were for kids, but they weren't over the top or dumbed down in nature, and the kids still adored them. But, you know, that's a gripe for another time. The acting did feel like the acting of kids' movies today, so at least they were on brand. It's not gonna land too much with adults because you're just sitting there being like, okay, this is a little much. But that's okay. I mean, it is for kids. But, you know, it wasn't completely all bad. There were funny times, there were some good times. It just felt like they didn't go below the surface. You know what I mean?
It's not that deep.
Now for the story and script, which I also give a 5 out of 10. Look, I think the story was fun for this type of movie. It wasn't a bad story. I think it was actually done pretty well. And if you were going to translate Minecraft into a movie, I feel like this is a good way to do it. For the average Joe, the person who doesn't really do Minecraft, this was nice. I think I would have appreciated a more serious approach to this movie, but, you know, I'm not upset with the approach they took, and like I said, I think it was good. for the movie.
How awesome was that?
Because I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the movie. I do think there were some cringy moments in the script that just felt like lazy attempts to push along the plot of the story. Because I suppose they figure the kids are too stupid to realize that, or that they just don't care. And I also found myself seeing some plot holes in this movie at times. For instance, why did Steve, the garbage man, and Henry have to take that detour through the mine shaft just to get some diamonds when, towards the end of the movie, Steve was easily able to mine for some diamonds? Quickly, I might add, for the big fight at the end, and right where they were. It didn't seem like they were anywhere near the mine shaft, so what was the point? Just to get Henry mad at the garbage man? Seems pretty cheap. But you know what, it's whatever. There were some funny points in the movie, and I guess the plot points don't really matter that much.
It was better than I thought.
Now for the theme, which I give an 8 out of 10. I believe the theme is to be yourself and not to be afraid to create things, and that's certainly a nice message. So I do think the theme is a good one to be showing kids. I think kids should be told that it's okay to be themselves.
As long as you don't kill anyone.
And that it's good to kind of step out of the mold to be something better, to create things, to be innovative. I mean, we definitely need more innovative people in the world today. There is definitely never a shortage of things that can be improved.
We need ideas.
Now for the details, which I give an 8 out of 10. You know, I really was not digging the realistic Minecraft vibe that was shown in the trailer. It just unnerved me, and I really hated the llama that was in the trailer. It just grossed me out. And you know what, some of it still looked kind of grotesque when you got to the big screen, like the villagers. Oh my gosh, they creeped me out so much. But all in all, I think it translated really well to the big screen. I think they did a very good job with the landscapes. Oh, it was gorgeous, really. And I think a lot of the animals still did work. Like, the wolf was very cute.
He is so cute!
And the pandas, so cute, so cute. Some of the humanoid creatures, like the zombies and the skeletons, and I guess sort of the creepers, they worked in this way too. They still had the blocky aspect, but kind of rounded it off and made it a little bit more realistic for the movie, which it did look good. Mostly, some of it. I mean, some of it still looked a little grotesque, aka the villagers and the llama. Gosh, that llama really creeped me out. I don't know why, it just did.
Oh! What the heck is that thing?
Now, do I think it could have been better if it was animated or less freakishly CGI'd and more pixelated for a real live action thing? Maybe. But, I mean, how they crafted the world for this movie, again, I think it did work. I also think they translated the source material in terms of characters and armor and weapons really well in this movie. I think it was very fun to see the realistic take on the armor and the weapons. It's always cool to see things like that outside of the medium they originated in, as long as it's done well. And they did it well.
The attention to detail is excellent.
Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the full review. So here's your spoiler warning right now.
Spoiler alert.
And let's get into the reasons for the rating. This movie was a PG action adventure movie. And yeah, it was. That's an apt rating for this movie 100%. So let's talk about that. First off, there was absolutely no sex content or drugs and alcohol in this movie. Now, I will say there was a slightly concerning moment that could get questions from kids, and that was the man witch. I said that we would talk about it later, and here's later. It was just plain weird, let's be honest. It was just plain weird. Any way they did it, it was just gonna be weird. But I think the way they did it was the weirdest. Because it was like Jason Momoa, if this was his head and this was his feet. And then Jack Black. This was his head, this was his feet, right? And they were just squished together like this, trying to go through a hole in the wall. So they had to really squish together, and they decided to go this way? Why not head to head and feet to feet? Why the other way around?
It's just weird.
There was nothing sexual about it. It was just strange. It's like two grown men with their heads in each other's Oh my gosh. It's just weird. I get why they did it for the situation, but I feel like there would have been a better way to do it. There were other juvenile acts in this movie as well, but this one takes the cake.
Language.
I wouldn't really say there was any language in this movie. I mean, 2 characters did say the word hell, which is a little strange for a PG movie, but also not really. So that's up to you to decide whether that's language or not.
Time for violence.
All the violence in this movie is cartoonish violence. They kind of Looney Tuned it up, you know what I mean? Adults watching this movie would feel no peril whatsoever. Considering the type of movie that we're in and the rating, you know no one's gonna die, you know no one's gonna get hurt. But younger children may have bits of concern. The zombies were kind of scary, the piglins were kind of scary, the Enderman was a little scary, and Jason Momoa's character looked like he died, but obviously he didn't.
I'm alive.
But also, it was nothing like the Sonic movies, which they were like, on a scale, 0 being like, the kid ain't even gonna like bat an eye, to like a 10 where you're looking at it and you're like, this is a kid's movie? Sonic would probably be like a 6, and the Minecraft movie would probably be like a 3. What would be a 10? Coraline. Coraline would be like a 10. That was a kid's movie? Bro. Also, if the kids played Minecraft, some of the violence in the movie might have been like par in the course, where if you attack a pig or something, they turn into the meat that they are, so they might have been like, oh, that's kind of like in the game, and not like, whoa, that person turned that thing into a pork chop.
Oh, yikes.
Anyway, here's all the violence in the movie. Like I said, a couple of piglins were stabbed in this movie and turned into pork chops. Zombies attacked a sheep, but only like ripped out wool, so nothing really happened. The humans fought zombies and skeletons at night. There was a fight between the piglins and the villagers and the humans in the villager town. There was a fight between Steve and the garbage man and a chicken jockey inside of a wrestling ring, so that was interesting. There was a small fight between an Enderman and Henry. Also, like I said before, the garbage man seemingly died in an explosion, but he didn't.
And he's still alive.
He came back like, I don't know, 10 minutes later. And at the end of the movie, there was a big fight between the piglins and the humans. That was the biggest fight of the movie, the most violent fight of the movie. And that's not saying much because the movie wasn't really violent at all. The violence was very cartoony and there wasn't a whole lot. Kids can take it. I mean, seriously, all the fighting in this movie was mostly just hitting. The only times where it was different than that was when Maldosha, the bad guy, would stab a couple of her piglins, but it was mostly blunt force actions throughout this entire movie.
Oh, why are you hitting yourself? Ow. Huh?
And you never saw any blood. There was nothing to really say that anybody was really hurt besides the piglins. Also, Jason Momoa's character was ragdolled a lot. He was thrown around and beaten and hit so much in this movie that I feel like they made his character entirely to be damaged, which is kind of like, why? Like, that's it? That's his whole character, is just to be a punching bag? Why? But like I said, this violence was not very violent. I think any kid could take it.
Do it, Quill. I can take it.
Overall, I give this movie 6 out of 10. But if you're a kid or like a real Minecraft lover, maybe it could be jumped up to a 7. All in all, it was a fun movie and a nice watch considering I didn't have to look down at my notes all the time, writing things in. It was a pretty chill movie in that regard. So I just got to enjoy it. Plus, for a video game movie, I don't think it was bad. I actually kind of liked how they translated most of the stuff. It's no Sonic or Detective Pikachu for sure, but at least it's not like Monster Hunter or Doom.
Because that movie sucked.
I found that having Jason Momoa's character be the punching bag for the entire movie was kind of cheap or just dumb. I just didn't like it. It was just like, why? And sometimes the kid seemed a little bit too knowledgeable or a little too powerful to be realistic in this movie. But I think that any small kid would enjoy it, and I think that any Minecraft fan would find the whimsy in it, and also have enjoyment for a couple of hours. I definitely could find myself watching this again, just for fun. And while I would recommend it to people who I think would enjoy it, I certainly don't think it's for everyone.
I know it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Also, and this has nothing to do with the movie itself, this is just a life issue. The whole theater audibly quoted things in this movie and then clapped at the end. Where's the theater etiquette going? It's like, what the heck? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Shut up during the movie. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear you talk.
Wrap that up and give it to a child on Christmas, because we're done.
Thank you all so much for watching this review. If you want to see any other movies, please comment down below. Or comment anything, I will answer. Also, please share this with your friends and like and subscribe so I can keep making videos like this for you. Every Friday, I have a new review, so if you want to see something specific, comment down below. Also, don't forget, Mondays are 1-minute stub reviews, where I review a movie that I've seen before, right off the top of the brain, unscripted, just for you. If you want to see any of these as real reviews, you know what to do. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and just remember, right here at Candid Cinema, it's okay to talk, it's okay to text, and I will CC you later. Bye!